Steeler fans are devastated about the video I put up calling them the laughingstock of the league. Their only response is, this guy said Deshaun Jackson. He can't take him. Said Deshaun Jackson. They think I don't know the difference between Deshaun Watson and Deshaun Jackson. One was a receiver that started with the Philadelphia Eagles and played for the Giants and Kansas City, a bunch of teams, a multitude of teams. The other is a superstar quarterback. Look, I understand it's hard because you guys were once a proud, historic franchise. And now you're transitioning into the laughing stock of the league. So I understand it's hard. And you guys know I speak the truth. I mean, really, you think you were getting gifted wins against the Browns and Bengals for so long, you forgot that your team wasn't even that good. Mike Tomlin, think about this. He gets 4 wins a year, gifted. What's he do against the rest of the NFL? Well, I did the figures, 373 winning percentage. That's how bad Mike Tomlin is. And you guys know, transitioning, you got Mitch Trubisky. That's who you're going into the season with. And the last time we played you in a meaningful game, we destroyed you guys at your stadium. I mean, humiliated you with Baker fucking Mayfield. So now we got an elite quarterback. What do you think's going to happen? And last year was an anomaly with the Browns because Kevin Stefanski, if you watch the Browns, was trying his best to show Jimmy Haslam how bad Mayfield was so we can get rid of him. Mayfield's good enough to beat the bottom tier teams in the NFL like Jacksonville and Pittsburgh, but he's not good enough to beat elite teams. Now we have someone that's good enough to beat elite teams. And you guys are nervous because you're transitioning from a once-storied, proud franchise to the laughingstock of the league right before your eyes. And some of you are in your 20s, you're going to have to realize by the time you're 50, it's still going to be the same way. Nothing's going to change because Mike T will be there because they won't fire him. They don't fire coaches in Pittsburgh. They tend to hang on to him too long. And his 4 wins a year that he was gifted are no longer there. I mean, Mitch Trubisky, that's your answer? And you guys swarmed all over Trubisky like someone was going to sign him the first day of we better get Mitch. Well, guess what? Nobody wants him. You would have been better off getting Marcus Mariota, anyone but Mitch. Oh, but Mitch loves the city of Pittsburgh. Mitchburg, please. He's a bottom-tier quarterback, 30th, 32nd, whatever. Your running back averages, 3.6 yards a carry? You're super... You know where he'd be in Cleveland? On the practice squad. Najee Harris would be on the practice squad because Nick Chubb's better than him. Kareem Hunt's better than him. Dearness Johnson's better than him. And your superstar wide receiver now, Claypool, hit or miss. And Deontay Johnson, whatever. Does that guy even catch balls thrown to him? He drops everything. You have nothing. Your offense is putrid. Your defense is putrid. It's so bad even Joe Hayden, he sensed the impending doom. He wanted out. So I understand it's hard. You're transitioning, like I said, from a once-storied, proud franchise to now a laughingstock of the NFL. Nobody talks about you no more. You got no quarterback. And then what Andrew Berry did in Cleveland is such a genius move because we know Pittsburgh's not going to pay anybody. This is the genius about Andrew Berry. He's forcing other teams now, because this was basically an NBA contract, he's forcing other teams now. They're going to have to sign their quarterbacks to big money. Guaranteed. Joe Burrow's going to want guaranteed money. You don't have to worry about that, though, because you don't have a franchise quarterback. And you're never going to have one again. So you don't have to worry about that. I think Mike T, he said, hey, we're going to build our team with a defense. And he wants to build his team with a defense. Translation, we can't get a franchise quarterback. It's over. That's what it is. That's translation. So I understand. It's the impending doom. In fact, it's already started. It's like your car's got 212,000 miles on it, and you get in it and you're thinking, is this the day it dies? Is this the day it dies? You know what's happening right in front of your eyes. Last year was an imbecile of it. It was an imbecile of it. You know what was happening, but you couldn't see it, and some of you actually thought you had a chance against the Chiefs in that playoff game. As bad as the Chiefs were last year, you couldn't even give them a game. It was an embarrassment and an indictment on how bad Mike T is. How's that Minka Fitzpatrick trade working out? Steelers used to be a good run franchise, but now it's terrible. It's just, like I say, it's a laughingstock. No one even talks about them anymore. I know Steelers fans, that's how we want it. We strike when no one. You guys don't strike no more. It's over. You got what's Mike? Seriously, Mike Tomlin is Mike McCarthy. She's just the African-American version of Mike McCarthy. I mean, think about this. 3-8 in his last 11 playoff games. And you guys still think he's a good coach? Tim Tebow, guy can throw one pass in the NFL, and guess what? He beat you with that fucking pass. One pass, he could throw it, he won. You know what happened to Tebow the next week? When he went and faced a real team with a real head coach, he got lambasted 44-6 at New England. See that? That's what a real coach does. David Garrard beat you guys in the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, it was at Heinz Field. Oh, and don't even get me started on Blake Bortles. Look up at the clock in the second quarter. It's 28-0. That's Mike T for you. Great coach. Gets his team really prepared. Well, what happened to Cleveland? You guys played them last year? Oh, 35-7 at halftime. That's Mike T for you. And then he has a chance to get back into the game 4th-and-1, start of the fourth quarter. And I know the Browns, they were reeling. Guess what? He punts the ball. And we go ahead and score another touchdown to widen the lead to 14 or 15, whatever. It was so much of a blowout. I don't even remember that game. It was such a... All I know is at the end of that game, I seen your Hall of Fame quarterback and your fucking all-pro fucking center. In fact, we made your center retire, and you're both of them guys are in tears crying because of the ass whooping the Cleveland Browns gave to them. An embarrassment on national television on a Saturday night. They embarrassed your franchise. They made your all-pro center retire. They made your all-pro quarterback come back and waste another year in Pittsburgh because we all know you guys could have transitioned to another quarterback or something, but Ben wanted them one more year to try it, so we made him come back. That's what Cleveland does to you. Dancing. I understand, Steelers fans. It's tough. Like I said, you were a storied, and I respect the Steelers franchise. I do, because I'm not one of these Browns fans that say, they're gone. They were a proud organization when I grew up in the 70s. They were the pinnacle. They were. And then the 80s, they didn't do so good. The 90s, they didn't really do much. And then they got a little bit of a stretch going here in the 2000s, but they just couldn't do nothing in the playoffs. Outside of that one fluke game when you beat Seattle because Ben Roethlisberger played like shit and the referees gave it to you. Ben Roethlisberger did make a great throw, and Santonio Holmes made a great catch in that Super Bowl against the Cardinals. But that's the epitome. That's the equivalent of playing the Lions in the Super Bowl. But, I mean, outside of that, it's over. And you know it is. I mean, you wasted all that prime talent. And also, you guys all, one thing about Steeler fans is they live in the past. That's all they talk about is these, 6 Super Bowls. Well, I can talk about the 8 championships that the Cleveland Browns have. They're their equivalent of Super Bowls, but they were called championships. So we actually have 2 more than you. Think about that. Let that sink in. I mean, your Super Bowl's what, 50 years old? We have 8 championships, 2 more than you. So the Browns are a more storied franchise. And I can't help it that the city of Cleveland was too cheap to give Arthur B. Modell a stadium, and then he took our team and moved to Baltimore and got us another 2 championships. So if you think about it, we should have 10 championships instead of 8. But still, we got 2. Nonetheless, we got 2 more than you. Yes, the city of Cleveland failed Arthur B. Modell. They should have gave him a stadium. Instead, they built a fucking stadium for the Indians, a fucking gateway project, whatever, for the Cavaliers. They fucked up. So we didn't have a team. We come back as an expansion. And unlike the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars, we got robbed in the expansion draft, if you remember. So, yes, the Browns were what you guys are now. They were the laughingstock in the late 90s, 2000s, and the turn of the century. We were the laughingstock. But now, the most important time in football, you guys are the laughingstock. And we are the leader. Cincinnati had their fun last year. That was us. If Mayfield don't get injured, trust me, we make the playoffs. If Kevin Stefanski wasn't showing everybody how bad Mayfield was, playing them in exploitable condition, we would have won that division. Trust me, you wouldn't have made the playoffs. But you know what? It worked out, because then if Kevin Stefanski didn't sabotage him, we would have been in the playoffs, but we'd have Baker Mayfield next year. And you know where he'd be? Right with you guys. No future. It worked out for the best. Now we got Deshaun Watson. Cincinnati's got Joe Burrow. Baltimore's got Lamar Jackson, who I will say is horrible. Mitch Trubisky, I would take over Lamar Jackson. That's the honest God truth. Lamar Jackson's terrible. But you guys need a franchise quarterback. And I know you're hoping Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis falls to you. But here's the thing. You want Malik Willis. Here's the thing. It's over. And even if you do get a guy like that, you're looking at 3 or 4 years just to be competitive with this roster. I mean, look, you got your best running back you think is so great. He would be on our practice squad, and that's the honest God truth. He ain't beating Kareem Hunt. He ain't beating Nick Chubb, and Dearness Johnson's 10 times better than him. I got news for you. Dearness Johnson's one of the best backs in the NFL that no one knows about. He's better than Nick Chubb. So I'm going position for position. Oh, my God, our defense is so stacked right now. T.J. Watt, he could honestly, if Clowney resigns, T.J. Watt would have to come in on 3rd down pass rusher. He ain't starting over Clowney, and he ain't starting over Garrett. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Clowney plays around tough. So anyway, in surmisation, Steeler fans, you were dancing all afternoon on a Saturday afternoon over my video of the impending doom. I got news for you. It's not impending. It's happening now around you. Everything's just falling apart. You know what's happening. You know I'm right. And your only thing you could say is, this guy, he said Deshaun Jackson. Yeah, I slip of the tongue. Deshaun Jackson. I know who Deshaun Jackson is. I know that the punt he returned for a touchdown in the playoffs that won the game. Anyway, Deshaun Watson is a stud quarterback, and you guys know this. You wish you had him. And the sad part is, if Pittsburgh wasn't so cheap and they went after him, they could have probably had him, and then it would have made you guys, it would have legitimized you, even though you don't have no other talent, but it would have legitimized you. 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 Legitimize you, legitimize you, legitimize you, legitimize you, legitimize you. It would have legitimized you, and you know it too. So in surmisation, you guys will dance for another week after this one because you know it. And I know you're saying, well, I can't wait to play him. We're going to win. You guys don't have a shot. Even if Jacoby Brissett's playing for 2 games while Deshaun Watson sits, if they do suspend him, we'll still win. Jacoby Brissett's better than anything you got. You know it as well as I do. You just can't compete with our roster. The NFL's a changing game right now. Everybody else is playing chess while you guys are playing checkers or Connect 4, if you know what I mean. It's just that you guys got the worst coach in football, and I'm being dead serious about that. I know a lot of Steelers fans that I know hate Tomlin, and if you look at the facts that I laid out for you, a 373 winning percentage against teams other than Cincinnati and Cleveland, that speaks volumes for how bad Mike T is. He lets the players do whatever they want. It's like a zoo over there. You need somebody with discipline to get that organization, the once proud organization that was the Pittsburgh Steelers, back on their feet. And until you get that coach, you guys will continue to be the laughingstock in the National Football League. And you guys know I'm right. That's why it's hurting you so bad. You know I'm right. Oh, by the way, these glasses, Joe Burrow wears a knockoff pair of these glasses, and people think he's cool. I'm the one that started these glasses, and I damn well look good for 68 years. 68 years old. Let that sink in. 60-fucking-8 years old I am. Let that sink in for a second. For 68 years old, for a man to act like this and behave like this and dress like this and wear glasses like this, that speaks volumes for how much of a beast I am. So, not the impending doom, but the doom that's happening around you right now as you go to watch the Cleveland Browns just build this powerhouse. The Cincinnati Bengals try to build a powerhouse. The Baltimore Ravens, all injured last year, but they will be back. Even with a terrible quarterback, they will still be competitive. And then there's you guys. 4-13 at best. Don't be surprised if Mason Rudolph is your starting quarterback in Week 5. Mitch Trubisky is going to start the season with 2 TDs and 9 interceptions. Tomlin's going to move away from him. You might pick up Mayfield, who knows? But my advice to you is probably get Mayfield if you could. He's better than anything you have and anything you will get.